From the green waters of the San Ignacio Lagoon, one of the friendlies has come for a visit. The gray whales that hang out here each winter rarely disappoint the tourists, who spend their days bobbing on choppy seas, waiting for their first glimpse of a barnacled snout, and sometimes a chance to give it a kiss. These pangas ferry about 2,500 visitors a year from the primitive camps that dot the shoreline of this isolated lagoon.
Bésala, bésala.
Several hundred, mostly pairs of whale cows and their calves, take refuge in the San Ignacio Lagoon for a few weeks every winter. That gives the newborns time to gain weight and strength for the migration north to feeding grounds in Alaskan waters.
The lagoon is also divided.
The whale watching industry here is decidedly low-key, and the operators intend to keep it that way. That includes Pachico Mayoral, who with his son Ranulfo runs an ecotourism business. It was Pachico's encounter with a friendly gray whale 33 years ago that turned this sleepy fishing village into a celebrated place where humans can make contact with one of the world's largest and most powerful creatures.
Salió una ballena junto a la panga.
I was line fishing and drifting with my friend, and suddenly a whale emerges head first next to our boat.
Pero la ballena seguía a un lado y se iba.
The whale would come out on one side and then the other, touching our boat. After a few minutes of this, I felt curious about touching her. I did very softly at first, and the whale stayed still and nothing happened to us. It was a beautiful experience.
The road to San Ignacio winds past cordon cactus and prickly cholla. It dips in and out of soft sand in the bottom of arroyos and continues past herds of skittish cattle. Then it opens onto the flats, mud flats and salt flats as far as the eye can see. The flats are an ideal setting for extracting salt from seawater, and that's exactly what the Mexican government and Mitsubishi had planned for this site 5 years ago. Then Mexico's president and his family visited the lagoon and made contact with a friendly whale. 4 days later, the president shelved the project. Serge Dedina is the director of Wild Coast, a conservation group based in Imperial Beach, California, next to the U.S.-Mexico border.
This is the area that Mitsubishi all wanted to develop up there and then across the lagoon. So this entire landscape would have been transformed into an industrial salt facility. Giant trucks here, walls, these salt ponds. It would have been completely transformed.
Had it been built, the San Ignacio plant might have looked like this operation in Guerrero Negro, a 2.5-hour drive north. Salt gets concentrated in crystallization ponds, then it is scraped off the ground, loaded onto trucks, washed twice, and then carried by conveyor belt to be dried. The salt is then loaded onto barges and later transferred to freighters offshore. The heavy industry can take a toll on the nearby environment. Scientists worry that the small San Ignacio Lagoon couldn't hold up to such intense industrialization. Recent reforms to Mexican land laws and an upcoming presidential election revive the possibility of a salt plant being here. All of this political intrigue and business dealing bring back old worries for Pachico Mayoral and others who make their living from the sea.
Y también que esto pues ha traído gente de todo el mundo para.
This has brought people from all over the world to experience what it is to touch a whale. Not one, but many. Because whales have taught me a lot about how to be with nature, particularly animals, how to treat them a different way.
Serge Dedina, who did his PhD on gray whales in this lagoon, has witnessed firsthand some of the most amazing sights the oceans have to offer.
Oh my God! Woohoo!
Yet he is just another wide-eyed tourist as a gray whale, twice as long as the pongo, begins to turn, belly up, and slides under the boat. Whale-watching guide Raul Lopez didn't look worried. He knows her as Valentina, explaining the whale got her nickname after showing up last year on Valentine's Day. Her flippers, each sticking 3 feet out of the water, gently cradle the boat. The passengers are delighted. Lopez calls this a whale hug. 40 tons of love.
Well, dance.
The boat shuddered again. Another whale nose breaks the surface. This one smaller and darker. This year, Valentina showed up with a calf. Mayoral, the wizened fisherman, says the gray whales, once hunted nearly to extinction, have much to teach humans about resolving conflicts.
Pues ellas fueron atacadas por los humanos.
They were attacked by men, and yet they look to get closer to people. That is a great lesson for all of us.
This is Ken Weiss, Los Angeles Times.